Welcome to 6th grade math. This is for lesson 151, and we are 273 and 274. It is a general review page because you have a test tomorrow. Okay, so don't forget about that. I'm sure your parents won't let you forget about that, but we want to make sure that you are understanding all of this for the test tomorrow. There's a couple things that I want to go over after grading some tests. Just some small things that the formulas. Some of our formulas you didn't have quite right, and so it did mess you up a little bit on the test. And so one of those formulas is area of a circle and circumference of a circle. Okay, so the difference between the two of them. So the area of a circle, A equals pi r squared, okay? Pi times r squared. But the circumference using radius is 2 times pi times r. And a lot of you forgot to multiply your r by 2 if they give you radius, okay? If they give you diameter, you then multiply pi times d. But if they give you radius, you have to multiply by 2. Basically, the only way to get circumference is with diameter, because when you multiply radius by 2, you get diameter, okay? So keep that in mind, is that c equals 2 pi r, c equals pi d, okay? And then most of you were getting this one, but just to remind you, a equals pi r squared, and r squared would be multiplying r by itself, or r times r, okay? So keep those in mind. One of the other ones was the perimeter of a rectangle, okay? And one of you had the right idea, but you didn't have the formula quite right. So all right, so P equals 2 times length plus 2 times width, okay? Or if this was a parallelogram, it could have been B and H, but you still do 2 times B plus 2 times H, okay? And so with that, you want to make sure that you multiply your length times 2, multiply your width times 2, and then add the numbers together. Some of you multiplied the numbers together after you added, or after you multiplied here, you multiplied together, but this is an addition, so we want to make sure that we're adding it, okay? So that's just a couple things that I wanted to go over briefly. So we're going to do some flashcards, and then I'm going to let you take your speed drill, okay? So these are the same ones. Well, I won't. Okay, now I've already told you, but these are the ones we worked on yesterday. So I'm going to go fast, so try to keep up. 7 times 6, 42. 12 times 3, 36. 10 times 8, 80. 12 times 12, 144. 7 times 12, 84. 10 times 11, 110. 3 times 7, 21. 6 times 9, 54. 9 times 12, 108. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 10, 50. 12 times 6, 72. 7 times 4, 28. 6 times 11, 66. All right, how'd you do? I messed up a little bit there, but hopefully you were able to get them before I said them. Some of them I gave you a lot more time than I have been planning to, but so you can go ahead and pause and take your speed drill, and then we'll look at the page when you come back. All right. We're going to take a look at our problems on the board. So we have a subtraction. Your page starts with some of these problems that we've been working on with adding and subtracting and multiplying our measurements. So if we have 7 pounds, 6 ounces, and we want to subtract 4 pounds, 8 ounces, can we subtract it like it is, or do we have to borrow? We're going to have to borrow, right? Because 6, you can't do 6 minus 8, right? Can't take away more than what you have. All right, so we're going to take this down to 6 pounds, and we're going to add 6 to how many ounces are in a pound. So how many ounces are in a pound? 16. I almost said the answer, and some of you knew that. So 16 plus 6 is 22, okay? If you don't know that, I would like you to write them to the side and on a scratch piece of paper or the side of the problem. If you don't know that for sure, and you can't do that mental math, I'd rather you write it out now, get your mind to train to think about those, and then later on you can go back to trying to do them with mental. But right now, it's important with these, it is important that you get them, that you have the right numbers, because when you subtract, if you have the wrong number up here and you subtract, you're going to get the wrong answer because you have the wrong number up here. Okay, so we want to make sure we do that. So 22 minus 8, and because I want to make sure that I'm right, I'm going to do it over here. I'm pretty sure I've got it. 14 ounces, okay? And over here, oh, it's pounds, not a 16. 6 minus 4 is 2, okay? So 2 pounds and 14 ounces, all right? Do we have to convert anything, or is 14 ounces less than a pound? 14 ounces is less than a pound, right? Because there's 16 ounces in a pound. So 2 pounds, 14 ounces would be the final answer for that one, okay? All right, erase that. We're gonna come over here and do one of these problems, because those are, again, are gonna be on your page. Now, something that I was noticing with some of your pages is that let's see. I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up with 4th grade because they were doing some equations too. But make sure that you're writing everything out. I'm just gonna put that out there. And so if you weren't writing everything out, make sure that you are. Okay, so 5 times y minus 3 equals 12. So first of all, what do we have to do? We have to get 3 off of this side and over here, right? So 5y minus 3 plus 3 equals 12 plus 3. Okay, don't forget that if it's subtraction here, we add. If it's addition, subtract, okay? So then we have to do the same thing to the other side. That's adding 3. So 5y is now over here by itself, and then 12 plus 3 is 15, okay? So now we have 5y equals 15. We have to divide the 5, right? To get our y by itself. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So y should equal 3. So we're going to plug it in, right? We're going to go 5 times 3 minus 3 equals 12. And with our order of operations, 5 times 3 comes first, right? So it's 15 minus 3 equals 12. 15 minus 3 is 12, and it equals 12, and we can put a check mark. But this y, oh, that's what you guys were doing wrong. You were circling this one. This is not the answer. This is the answer, okay? So make sure, if you're gonna circle something, this is what to circle. This is not the answer. This is not what y equals. The question, the equation, what it's asking for is for what y is. So that's your answer, okay? So make sure that you do that. All right, and then we are gonna do a circle, the area and circumference. So we're gonna do both just as review to help you guys out. All right, so if R is equal to 7.5 feet, with these, another thing that I noticed on your test is that many of you did not label your answers. So either you didn't put feet, meters, inches, yards, or you didn't put the squared, or you put the 2 and you squared it by the number. Okay, and I'm just gonna reiterate, say it again, that if we're gonna square it, goes after this, because then it's not confused with the number, okay? But that's not what we're squaring right now. So I'll show you when we get the answer. So if we're doing circumference, we need to multiply 2 times pi times r, right? So C equals 2 times 3.14 times 7, and we could do 7.5 if with the decimals. It might be easier, or with the fractions, you could have turned this into 3 and 1/7. I think it's 1/7. Yeah, 3 and 1/7. So you could do it either way. I prefer to do it with the decimals, but whichever way you do it, you should come up with close to the right answer. You'll probably come up with the right answer. Okay, so 3.14 times 7.5. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 plus 2 is 7. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay. 7 times 4 is 28. We have that carried 2. 29. Not 29. I'm sorry, that was just 9. That it can be a mistake that you make. 21. Of course, I can still make the same mistakes that you guys could make, so I'm not above that. Okay, now, one of the things that I want you to be careful of, and we've talked about this before, is how many decimal places. There's 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So we start here, we go 1, 2, 3. We're gonna put our decimal right there between the 3 and the 4. The answer is 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So in this is not the answer yet, because remember, we only multiplied 2 of our numbers together. We have to multiply by 2. Now, if it had been, you could have multiplied 2 by one of these before you started, and it would have been fine too, or you didn't do it at the end. Either way, as long as you do it. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, okay? Our decimal is 2 places because we didn't have another decimal. 46.9, so C equals 46.9 feet, okay? It is important that you put feet or yards or inches or meters, because we want to know what it is. So it's very important to do that, okay? Now erase this. We're gonna do area over here. Area equals pi times r squared. So pi is, this time I'm going to use the fractions, 3.17, and we're going to do times 7.5, and we're going to square it, okay? So we got to make this an improper fraction. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, so 15 over 2 times 15 over 2, okay? We can't cancel. This is going to be 4 on the bottom, and you need 15 times 15, 25, 7, 5, 1. 225, okay? So let's see. 4 into 225 goes 5 times. and 6 times. And we would have 1/4, so 56 and a fourth. So now that we've done that, we have 56 and 1/4 times 3 and 1/7 equals A, okay? So we're going to multiply these, so we're gonna do what we did to multiply 7.5 times itself, and we're gonna change these into improper fractions. So, actually, we could have left that as an improper fraction, 225 over 4 and 22 over 7, okay? Now, make sure that you make this as easy as you can on yourself. Something can go into 22 and 4, 2, right? So this would be 11 and 2, okay? So at the bottom we have 14, and 11 times 225 . Okay, basically, it's 225 plus 2,250, okay? 5, 7, 4, 2. So 2,475. I don't think 7 can go into 225. No, you can't. Not evenly. So then, I know this is a lot, this one had a lot of work. Good thing that I'm doing the work and you guys are watching, right? Okay? You're probably glad for that. Okay, so now we need to know times 14 goes into 107. We can think 2 into 10, let's try 5. That's only 70. Let's go higher. Let's try 7. Okay. 28, 98. That was better. Because that gives us 9, which is less than 14. So 95, so we know that it can't be 7, it's got to be 6. So 6 times 4, 24, 84. So it gives us 11, and we're going to have 11 over 14. So the answer to this one, if you do it with the fractions, is A equals 176 and 11/14 feet squared. Okay, notice how I put that 2 after feet. You can only put it before if you use SQ, not the number 2, okay? All right, so that is how to do it with that. This one probably we could have done 3.14 times 50, what happened to like this? 56.25. And we would have got a different answer, but it would have been right. It just would have given us this fraction in a decimal. And so I won't go through and do the one with the decimal. Sometimes, if you've got fractions that are easily turned to decimals, I would turn them to decimals instead of having to go through all of the division and multiplication of fractions. But it is good to know how to do the multiplication and division of fractions. So that's always good. All right, let me tell you what I want you to do on this. I want you, in section 1, I want you to do everything that's black, so no green. So do A, C, D, E, F, J, K, L, M, okay? And then section 2, pick 2 of them. Section 3, you can pick 3 of them. Section 4, So it does say to do the perimeter and the area, so I want you to pick 2 of them to do that for. In section 5, I'll let you only do 1 of them, but make sure that you're following, that you're figuring out exactly what it is, you're using the right formula, and that you put the square, feet squared or square feet, and feet, label them correctly if for whichever one you do. Okay, and in the review, do 1 from section 6, 1 from section 7, and pick 3 from section 8. Okay, they're Roman numerals, turning them into Arabic numerals, so that's your actual numbers. Okay, so in case that confused you. All right, if you have any questions on this, please let me know, and then I will let you get to work. Oh, don't forget your order of operations. Remember, okay, so parentheses first, powers, addition or multiplication and division in the order that they come left to right, and then addition and subtraction in the order that they come left to right. So say those, let's say those together, okay? Parentheses, powers, multiplication, division, left to right, addition and subtraction, left to right, okay? All right, we'll let you get to this. There is a homework section, page 386, lesson 151 at the top, and your test is tomorrow, so make sure that you are ready for all of that. So we'll see you in the next lesson.